Well, this year is the Tata Altroz. This car officially takes on the Maruti Baleno, the Hyundai i20, the Honda Jazz, as well as the Toyota Glanza. And I think this car is the best looking car in this segment. It really does look very posh, very upmarket, very premium. I have another small request for you. Please do follow me on Instagram. My handle is AshishMasi1. It's flashing below your screen right now. And also subscribe to our channel and please hit that bell icon to receive all our notifications first. Now let's get started. Well, so the first thing that you'll truly appreciate about the Altroz's cabin is this. Let me do that once again for you if you didn't hear it the first time. That's a very solid, very reassuring and very confidence inspiring thud. In fact, when you're on the highway with your entire family, no sticker over here which says 5-star Euro NCAP or any other global 5-star rating will give you so much assurance as this sound does. It really feels very solid and very well bolted together. Well, what also feels very well bolted together is the cabin. The quality inside the cabin is very premium, very rich, and the materials are also very good. There is soft touch materials all across, especially if you use these buttons for the AC and the stereo. You'll realize that they have a very nice and softened out effect, which really does add to the sense of poshness inside the cabin. What's also very posh about the car is the generous equipment list. When you're inside the Altroz, you will not feel that you're sitting inside a premium hatchback. It has the equipment levels of a mid-sized sedan or maybe a car higher than that, because you get automatic headlamps, you get automatic wipers, you also get cruise control, which some of its rivals don't offer, and you get plenty of information in the display over here. You get the actual power and torque usage, you get the live fuel economy, you get distance to empty, and a host of other things, including when the car needs to go for servicing. Now this is partially a digital display and partially analog display. It looks really cool, and the overall ambience inside the car is very upmarket and feels like you're sitting inside a European car. What's also good about it is the seat comfort. The seats are really good. The cushioning is excellent. You get excellent support for your under thighs. You get good support for your lower back. And unlike the Hyundai i20, which is a very soft lower back support over here, this one has generous support for your lower back. So that's something you'll truly appreciate. What you'll also like is the amount of places you get to keep odds and ends. The glove box is huge and deep, and it's really nice. You can really load in a host of stuff. For example, this is the kind of file which goes in straight, and there are 2 compartments here, and I think you can keep at least 10 files of this size inside over here. So if you are a lawyer or if you're a CA, you can keep all your files and all your books inside the glove box. There's a huge tray over here. There's a bit of a place over here where you can keep a Diet Coke can. It's a small tray, but you can keep it over here, the elbow box, and of course 2 beverage holders here. But the best place to store away these cold drinks from your kids, because you know these beverages aren't good for them, is right over here next to the driver. You can keep at least a couple of cans over here and tell your kids inside the car that there's nothing inside the car and you're not getting anything to drink, because you know these things aren't really good for their health. Now the door bins are big enough to house those big money bottles, but the big party trick, of course, just like the next one, is that you can store your umbrella over here, and that's something which is very cool, because in the rain you normally have to really struggle to keep your umbrellas inside the car, because they can really strain your floor mats and they can become really sticky and very mucky. So this is a nice place to keep them. Of course, you need to really find the right angle to push it in and to figure it out, but of course you need to really find the right angle to push it in and keep it there. But overall, it's a nice place. So how much would I give the overall score of this car? I think the cabin is a very posh place to be. 9 out of 10. What's also decent about it is the touchscreen. It's good in terms of usage. It gets Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is really now a thing which all cars in this segment offer. But yes, it offers you good responses. It is a good touchscreen, doesn't offer you any lag. And what I'm trying to say is that once you're inside this car, you'll feel like you've spent your money well on the right car. Now let's see if the back seat is as impressive as the front ones. Well, so what is Budmo? Well, I'm sure by now all of you are aware that Budmo are the online expert when it comes to spare parts. And the best point is that they have the spare parts for all vehicles available in India. So even if your car is out of production now, maybe you have a large generation model, even then they have the spare part available. They have the entire catalog. And the best point is that they have the same spare part from a host of different component makers, which gives you great flexibility in the pricing overall. So check them out today. Check out the app. It's available both for iOS as well as Android devices. And also check out the website for the latest schemes as well as offers. Also, if you are someone who prefers to be sitting in the back seat all day long, then you will definitely enjoy the space as well as the comfort inside the Altroz. In terms of knee room, it is very good. Headroom also is more than sufficient, and my height for reference is 5'10", and I've adjusted the front seat as always for my height and my driving position. So if you're about 5'10", 5'11", even if you're about maybe 6'1" or 6'2", you should not have any issues in these seats, both for knee room as well as for headroom. The best part about the seats is the cushioning. Support for your long and lanky legs is very good. The backrest angle is good. There's good cushioning all across, and of course you also get this armrest, which is something of a bit of a premium because a lot of cars, in fact no other car that I remember, offers this in this segment. So that's a very nice touch. Also AC vents at the back and a 12-volt charging point complete the whole package. So if you're someone who just enjoys sitting in the back seat all day long and wants to charge his mobile phone or be on his laptop and just wants the driver to take care of all the stress of driving in the city, then this is a very nice and comfortable place to be in. Full marks to Tata for offering you such comfortable seats. Now let's see how good the boot is. Overall, the boot on the Altroz is very impressive, 345 liters, which means that it wins the battle of the brochures. This is the most spacious boot on offer. There's a little bit of suspension intrusion though, but that's quite okay because it is a nice and deep boot. There's also a bit of a sill, so you'll have to put your back into it when you load and unload stuff off this boot. But overall, because it is a generous boot, you can easily forgive that or ignore that. And I will give the boot of this car a strong score of 9 out of 10. Now let's get to driving. So here I am driving the Tata Altroz, and this car comes with a 1.2 liter petrol, and there's also a 1.5 diesel, which makes it the biggest capacity motor on any premium hatchback. And of course, remember that the Maruti Baleno will not be available with the diesel from April 2020. What impresses about the diesel is its sheer refinement. Yes, when you start off from cold, you might be mistaken and think that you're sitting inside a petrol car, but you can forgive yourself because the refinement level really is that good. Even when you rev it hard, you'll still feel that you're driving a petrol because again the refinement is so good. And this car's cabin is very well isolated from everything that's happening on the outside. That said, what's also good about it is the fact that the ride comfort on this car is absolutely brilliant. Yes, the ride comfort on this car is very good no matter what kind of speed you're doing, no matter what kind of surface you're driving on. This car feels very comfortable, very reassuring, and it feels like you're sitting inside a much bigger car, a much more expensive car, because Tata Motors has really done a fantastic job with the suspension. I think that the suspension setting on this car and the comfort on this car is by far the best on any car in the premium hatchback space. Now, because this car suffers from turbo lag in the diesel version, you'll have to constantly shift gears, but that's also not an issue because this 5-speed gearbox is a nice and slick unit. The gear shifts are very accurate and they're also very light. You don't need a heavy hand to shift, they can be shifted with a light hand. The clutch also is surprisingly very light, and it's as light and as effortless as a clutch on any petrol car. So Tata again has done a fantastic job with the clutch. What you also like is the steering wheel because it has the right amount of weight in it, and it's neither too heavy, neither is too firm, and it's also decent in terms of accuracy. Well, most car buyers don't buy their cars to go hunting on a racetrack or go, hunting down that corner. Most car buyers want a hassle-free car to drive, and in that sense, this is a very good steering wheel. It offers you very good communication. What you also like is the overall visibility, but the best point about this engine and this car is its sheer refinement and sheer isolation inside the cabin. The cabin feels very well isolated from everything that's happening on the outside, and the engine noise, the tire noise, and the wind noise is not present inside the car. In fact, people in the back will be forgiven for thinking that they're sitting inside a petrol car and not a diesel. Now, if you're talking about the 1.2 petrol, it's a decent engine in terms of refinement, but you again need to rev it hard to get the best from it. If you're using the highway a lot, then you really need to rev it hard to get the best. So it's not that great an engine for the highway use, but for city use, it's quite okay. The power is adequate and it's quite okay in terms of use. The gearbox also again is nice and slick on the petrol engine. What really does impress from both engines is the sheer refinement and the cabin isolation, and of course the ride comfort is brilliant on both the petrol as well as the diesel. Overall, the Altroz might not be as engaging to drive as the Maruti Suzuki Baleno is, but that said, it does offer you very handsome looks on the outside, a very spacious and comfortable interior, and a long list of features. Add to that solid build quality as well as the best in class boot, and you have a very competent premium hatchback. So, if you are in the market for a premium hatchback, then you should definitely go ahead and take a test drive of the new Altroz, and I'm sure you'll really come across as impressed as I have been on this test drive. It's bye for now, and thanks for watching.